Welcome back to PrepperNow. We're going to be talking about what happens now. Now what? The political earthquake is starting to settle. We have all had our feelings, our thoughts. Information has come, information is gone. Many rumors, many truths, half-truths, not truths, all kinds of stuff. And here we are as a nation, and I want to go in and just kind of do some other stuff and talk about it. If you are over on the Crisis Report, it's at Crisis Report, youtube.com/at Crisis Report. We cover all this. I did 2 broadcasts today. One was the regular old Crisis Report where I just did my straight stuff and I didn't talk about any of this. And then the other was all that we knew about what had happened. And, you know, as I put over there, and of course, at the time I'm mad. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm mad. Because we're better than this on many different levels. And there's people I think that really distinctly need the blame, you know. Our press, I think, really needs to be blamed. But I cover that over there. If you want to go over there and listen to that, please do. It's youtube.com/at Crisis Report. So, as it pertains to what's going on now, this is going to be a little bit more level-headed. If you really want to do something, if you're kind of feeling like you don't like what's going on and you want to fight it, on the Trump version of the Crisis Report, PrepperNow.substack.com, Crisis Report, the Trump one, the latest. Bottom of the feed, on the bottom of the transcript, there is a GoFundMe, okay? And I don't like GoFundMe for obvious reasons. GoFundMe is, done a lot of stuff to stop people's speech, but anyway, they have a GoFundMe up there for the families that were affected in the background, because we sit here and we talk about all this, but to be honest with you, there are families that one of which doesn't have a father anymore, and his daughter had to post, and I just, I can't imagine my daughter having to do that for me. The guy was probably younger than me, looked like a, normal guy. He's a fire chief in Pennsylvania, small town. And now we're kind of dealing with all of this aftermath, the blowback, the what now. Now, I think we know what to blame, and I think we know who to blame, and I really do blame the media. This is Axios right here. Axios is very leftist in its coverage. And, this one is called Trump's Martyr Moment. Okay. I thought the picture was cool, but I thought I would talk about other things besides this, because I'm kind of over mad at the media. They won't change. I'm not going to expect anything to change. And, they've got no incentive to change. But to sum up what I put over there, there's the media in our country right now is so concerned with getting clicks and with this whole narrative that, a threat to democracy, which is basically just a Democratic talking point, and it's absolutely horse crap in its nature. You want to talk about a threat to democracy? Let's make it so we don't do what the Constitution says when it comes to our elections, and we put all this extra crap out there in what we're doing now. That's a true threat. And we are not a democracy. We are a representative republic with democratic features. So let's be honest about that. But another video for another time. We've covered this, And again, like the thing about that right there, if you say, oh, we are a republic, people on the left will get mad and say, oh, that's a dog whistle. That's, you're trying to take away people's right to popular sovereignty. We represent people. We pick people in representation. We vote for them. And then they go to, city hall, state legislature, Washington, D.C., wherever, and then they represent what we hopefully, or what we hope they will represent us. Okay, so there's no threat to any of that. But what's going on now is getting crazy. If you've been here, you know that I've said it's going to get crazier, and I think here we are. I really do think we are at that crazy kind of point now, and it's probably going to spiral out of control. And so, as we sit here and reel in all this, as I said over there, to understand Trump politically is to understand that he is a reaction. He is, when I got sober, they said drinking is a symptom of the problem. You don't drink to the point of ruining yourself because it tastes good. You do it because there's things underlying within you that you need to fix, okay? And that's what Trump is. I know I've got already had people saying he's the AC and all that. And you know what? If you believe that, that's fine. Maybe he is. I don't know. I would not feel strong enough to believe it. But maybe you've seen things. And you know what? If you got all that, you know how to contact me. Why don't you, instead of putting that in the comments, why don't you prove it to people? Because there's a lot of people that follow Amir Sarfati, who's supposedly a biblical scholar, and he doesn't see Trump as the AC. So, I don't know. Maybe you know more than he does. Maybe you have seen things and all that. I don't know, and I wouldn't pretend to know. So, and if you believe that, okay. I feel you have that right to believe it. I don't personally see it that way right now, but then again, I also have an open mind. And I would be totally fine in entertaining anything, okay? So, as we all know, Trump is a reaction. Trump is many decades of useless war, pissing our money away, and really aggravating the population while basically making it so nobody is represented in the way they feel. So what happens in these situations, and Trump is not the first by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, this has happened all throughout history of the world. When people don't feel like they're being taken care of or represented, then they react and they do things. And, Trump is no dummy. He came in, he knew, he read the tea leaves, he knew the temperature in the room, and he could say America was ready for an outsider, dark horse kind of person. He had the name, he had the persona, he had all of it. He had the clout, he had the, brash personality and all that, which turns a lot of people off, me sometimes as well. But he seized the moment and he went in there, and to be honest with you, I enjoyed his presidency more than I do the current one. And even enjoy it more than the one before his and the one before that. For me, my family, the Trump years were all right. We had a house we couldn't sell, and we got it done. I don't know if you've ever been an inadvertent landlord, but it's a terrible feeling when you can't sell a house and you've got this thing sitting there, and you don't want to foreclose on it, so you rent it out to someone, and we didn't make back what we put into it, and we lost a good amount of money on it. Now, good Lord has blessed us and other things, and we have made things back on the other end, but still, it was the Trump years for us were good. And there's a lot of people that think that. A lot of people are not happy with right now. A lot of people in the cities are not happy with what's going on. These are people that have quintessentially started to, vote. They voted one way, and now they're changing. So there was a surge in donations to Trump after all of this, okay? And it's kind of expected. Many people have come out and they have endorsed him. Elon Musk is one. Bill Ackman is another one. So Donate to Trump surged nationwide in the moments after the attempt. Folks in Wyoming, South Dakota, New Hampshire, West Virginia, Nevada, searching for ways to donate. Again, this is a reaction. People are very tired of what's going on. They're tired of reading news articles where they've got a small mustachioed German person sitting next to the guy that was the helm of the country 3.5 years ago. Because I can assure you, as a guy that teaches World War for a living, this is a very different place than Germany 1930s and 40s. It really is, okay? For as much as people want to put that narrative into your brain, this is absolutely nothing like that. Don't really think a crystal knocked is happening in America right now, or tonight, or anytime soon, okay? Unless, of course, it's a mostly peaceful thing that goes on in one of our fabulous cities with the coverage of CNN. So, surge in donations, what did that look like? Right there. There it is. Wyoming was number one, South Dakota, New Hampshire, West Virginia, and Nevada. They should be concerned about Nevada. Nevada's a swing state. New Hampshire is also potentially in play. Wyoming, South Dakota, and West Virginia are squarely in the former president's box. So, as you can see, Dad already exceeded the prior peak during his guilty verdict, and every time they do something to him, the man gets more popular. Again, a reaction. So, he raised $141 million and more than 2 million donations, averaging $70 each. Now, that's the difference between what goes on with him and what goes on with Joe. Joe is on a stage with Barack and George Clooney, being led around by a leash or whatever the heck it is they have. You know, maybe he's a robot, and he moves around. But anyway, you get the point. Donald is getting smaller donations. He's getting from normal people that are just sick and tired of the BS, all the crap. So about 37.6% of the $141 million was raised in the 24 hours after the verdict was announced. Americans were also searching for Trump campaign website, and search trends spiked overnight. So here he is with all of that. So Friday, Bloomberg revealed Elon Musk contributed to America PAC, which is working to elect Trump to the White House. Hours after that, Bill Ackman, another mega rich human being, said he is donating as well. And my band in the background is having a text fest over outfits that my bass player wants us to wear, which we will not wear. Let's just say it'll look like a character that, well, I'm not going to say it. Anyway, hours after the attempt, trigger word now, Bill Ackman formally endorsed him. He said, I'm going to formally endorse DJT. Came to the decision some time ago, as many of my ex-followers knew, and they knew this was coming. He's been pretty vocal about, mistreatment and other things he's concerned about. Reason why I have not yet formally done so is that I want to explain himself. And he goes on from there, and we're not going to go cover into that. But predict it is the best way to know who's going to win. Predict it is the betting odds, and they show Trump's odds of winning jumping 68% yesterday. It's pretty high for him. His odds of winning surged at the end of last month after the debate performance as well, which you can see on the middle portion of your screen right about there. And here is what happened yesterday. Increasing support for the president comes as Joe's election efforts falter. Growing number of Democrats have asked Joe to step aside because of, a lot of issues. And this is all kinds of people, major senators, major representatives, major, actors, which why people give a crap what they think, I don't know. But, I said it last night to the gentleman in my band. I said, if that thing had fully done what it was intended to do, we would be in a very different place. And, imagine you're performing and everything's going great, and then all of a sudden, towards the end of it, you get word that this has happened. And it literally changed everything in the room, the entire temperature. And this wasn't a political anything, or it was a private party, and it was just weird. So, of course, we started seeing, you're sitting up there and you're doing it, and everybody's having fun. And then all of a sudden, everybody's like serious, and they start talking to each other in whispered tones. You kind of get the idea that something's going on. So we took a break, and we figured it out, finished, did our thing, and here we are a day later, about 24 and a half hours later. So shooter was hit by a Secret Service. Eyewitness told the media that he warned the police, and he did. A lot of people really mad about that. We're going to cover that here in a little bit. That he was crawling on the roof, and no action was taken. So what would happen? What would happen if this happened? Now, as you guys remember, not so long ago, I said you're going to need those preps. I still believe it. Tonight, we had food with some of our preps from our shed. They're still there. They're still good. It's been 4 years. Everything is wonderful, and still doing what we're supposed to do and with the food and all that. And, prepping is... If you're not prepping right now, folks, for just the geopolitical, you're asking for it. I mean, there is so much left to happen. I mean, really. I mean, think about where we are right now and think about where we were 6 years ago. Let's say it's 2018, July 2018. Man, I was probably like doing research on my fantasy football team, And here we are, and... it's country's different in multiple ways, multiple ways. And this has been a long time coming, or at least 5-6 years in coming, 4 years coming. So, of course, we know who the guy is. He registered as a Republican, but he was given to the other side. So anybody going with that narrative is not going to be correct. The media, as covered over on Crisis Report, was depraved and despicable in their coverage, trying to say that he was a what are some of the ones? Trump had fallen on stage, of course, was the one. The other one was the Denver Morning Post said the person was shot at the rally. Not mentioning that it was Orange Man bad, but the guy on the roof. And so, if you don't at this point understand just how terrible the information we get in this country is, then I wouldn't have a couple of channels on the tube doing what they're doing, because it's covered over there. I just want the truth. I just want the truth. Pinball talked to me last week. He said, I just want the truth. I said, I agree. I just want the truth. Everybody just wants the truth, folks. So a lot of this rhetoric has just gotten out of hand, and now it's making crazy 20-year-olds go up onto roofs and try something that, as I explained over there, you ask this kid that did this, you mark my words, he'd be like, oh man, I was trying to save democracy. I'm trying to save democracy. That's a tiny mustachioed German up there in orange hair, speaking to 70,000 of his friends in Butler, Pennsylvania. I'm trying to save democracy. You mark my words. That's what the guy thought. And in his mind, he was doing something good. And why is that? Because they pumped his head full of this crap. Now, you can say that the political campaigns do bad rhetoric, and they do. They do all kinds of stuff. They say stuff. Everybody remembers the former Alaskan governor, female, I forget her name. She's not in the limelight much anymore. McCain and, oh God, put it in the freaking chat. Anyway, she had like a political thing where she had a crosshair. And waiting for that answer. Palin, thank you very much. Who do we got there? See? Of course. Who's that? That's Roger McKeon, one of my members there. $2 a month. You don't have to pay the ticket. Guys, I just saw right there. You said I got to pay $2 a month for the... No, you don't got to pay $2 a month. If you like what I'm doing here, especially on the crisis report, then you can join the growing number there. But, you know, you don't have to do anything. You can just come and listen and move on. Downvote, whatever. I'm sure Erikel Toros is in the background downvoting away. So all of this is going on. You know, the country is being ruled by a shadowy network of transnational and domestic elites that are united by the radical liberal globalist ideology. I think we all agree with that. I don't think it really goes away. I mean, look at John Deere. Have you guys seen the John Deere stuff as of late? That's been overshadowed. John Deere, American company. It's been around. It literally has tilled the fields for centuries, or over a century. And this guy put out this video of their training manual, and it is as terrible as it gets. I mean, it is just, you know, 3-year-olds looking at men dressed up as you know what, right? And everybody was really shocked about that, and that went away. But why is that happening? Why is it that John Deere in the background is having that kind of BS put into their training manual? It's because of, you know, Vanguard and BlackRock and the WEF and all that, you know, doing what they do, which is basically communism for you and I, and then they get to own everything. You and I will own nothing and we'll be happy because Klaus said that, right? No, it's not going to happen. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about anyone. He doesn't care about anyone. None. That man is all about making his family as rich and powerful as possible, and that's all it is. He doesn't care about the environment. He doesn't care about the world. He doesn't care about any of that. It's just your typical rich dick who got there, and it's now like, how can I take these little chickens, these little herdlings, you know, and make them bend to my needs. As arrogant as it gets. Narcissists, you get the point. About to start cussing. So, of course, who do they go for? They go for the uniparty, right? And that's why Trump currently, as people currently believe, there's people that think he's a big psyop and all that. I'm not ruling that out either, okay? I do what's called an open mind. I don't definitively believe in everything or anything. You know, I look at stuff and I get it, and then I change my mind if it changes it. And sometimes that happens. Sometimes you read stuff and you're like, ooh, my mind has changed. That's the sign of an intellectual, is to be able to change your mind and say, you know what, wait a second. The Republicans were wrong on this one. I actually agree with the Democrats. I know, crazy. That's why I'm not beholden to a party or anything like that. And that's part of the problem. Everybody looks at our politics now like it's sports ball. You know, the Miami Democrats versus the Orlando Republicans. You know what? I agree with Washington. We shouldn't have any parties. That's part of the problem right there. Shouldn't have any parties whatsoever. So, anyway, another video for another time. So the rhinos are there, the uniparty's there, you know, all that. And I would agree. I think it's pretty much a foregone conclusion at this point that there are just a bunch of rich jerks in the back whose whole purpose is basically to keep us just happy enough to keep working and twisting the knobs, but not happy enough to actually live long and cash out any kind of a retirement, you know? It is what it is. First of all, they're not liberal in what they're doing. There's nothing liberal about what their viewpoint is. They're progressive fascists, okay? In their mind, progressivism is making it that you can flop your dingus in front of any age person at any time, and you get painted up however the heck you want, and we'll put, you know, chips in your head, and we'll control you, and you know, all that kind of stuff. And yes, that's Elon too. You know, there's nothing progress-based We want progress. Let's work on our morality. Let's work on our families and our little society, our little, civil areas where we live, our cities, our towns. But they don't think that way. They just say, I want these guys to do what we want, and I'm getting off on a tangent. So Trump is bad. Trump represents a little guy, according to them. Yes, he could be controlled opposition. I get the whole point. I've looked at everything. I know. But let's just play normie here, okay? Let's say that it's not UFOs coming down from Bear Independence backside on the back of Angry Prepper going over to, crazy.com and saying that, Operation Bluebeam is the really one that's running the show, and Christ is coming back, and Christ is the Antichrist, is the non-Antichrist. Let's just put all that aside, okay? Let's play dumb here. Let's act dumb. Let's act normal. Let's act normie. And just say that all this is what it is. So, these people supposedly have done everything they can to demonize us, to demonize the people that say, I don't like what's going on, It doesn't take long to look at the events of 1621. It doesn't take long to look at the events of, the things putting, Orange Man bad behind bars and stuff like that. Clearly, this is the greatest show on earth, or there is a real push to get the man out of the way. Okay? And they got pretty darn close yesterday. It also can't be ruled out that some of these newly radicalized supporters might have carried out retributive violence by targeting other officials and all that. As you know here, I don't push anything violent whatsoever. If you want to kick people's butts, take your money away. Don't buy Tractor Supply. Don't buy John Deere. Don't buy Lay's potato chips. Don't buy any of that crap. Go to a local farmer's market and get their food. How about that? Ooh, crazy. Go to a local butcher and get their meat. There's all kinds of stuff. It's more expensive. Yes, of course it's more expensive. Doesn't mean you have to only shop there, but do whatever you can to move as far away from them as possible and to do anything you can to produce whatever the heck it is. Someone said there was, the guy was mad and all that, and mad about all the finances. And I said, you know what? If we really want to change something, let's just not buy anything for a couple months. Can you imagine what would happen if people got so mad and instead of going to our political masters, hoping they're going to change stuff for us, we just said, you know what? I've got everything I need, and 75% of the population could go 60 days without buying a single freaking thing. We'll just say, let's say all you do is buy gas, right? Do you know what that would do? It would do a heck of a lot more than some butthead on a roof. So now all the fabric is coming unglued, right? And this is going to get worse. We all know this. Your preps are going to come in. You're going to need them. And all this craziness is going to be, going on. As it says, America's socio-political fabric could therefore have very easily been torn to shreds had Orange Man Bad not suddenly turned his head, and it was miraculous that he did, maybe because he's the Antichrist and he knows, and thus miraculously averted a worst-case scenario by less than an inch. So how'd that guy get there? So that's Eric Prince, okay? Former Navy SEAL. He runs Blackwater, also known as Academy. This is, soldiers for hire, right? Soldiers of fortune. These guys have been all up in Iraq and all the other wonderful escapades of America that have gone in and trashed other countries, all in the name of building a democracy. What I call dismantling my grandchildren's future, right? So he said that they the Secret Service failed. So now, of course, people are going to look at this and they're going to say, "Oh, well, this is all planned. This is insert 3-letter agency here and all that. The guy's a patsy, all that. All this stuff is going to come and go and all that. And whether it's true or not, the big question is, How in the Sam Hill did the guy get up on that roof 400 feet, not yards, feet away from DJT? Because it was planned, man. It was planned. Donald knew. He knew when to turn his head. How did he get up there? As the graphics show, the full value wind of just 5 miles an hour was enough to displace the unconfirmed but likely 55-grain bullet 2 inches from his cranial unit. And he did, if you watch. I mean, he literally looked, he tilted his head about a half an inch. And from there, it went from back of the cranium to right side of the eardrum, or the ear. How did he get up there? Have you seen the videos of the Secret Service? Have you seen it? I mean, you want to talk about? I mean, like I said on Crisis Report, it was a chaotic situation, and nobody knows how they're going to react. In my family, if there's ever anything, and this is because through numerous other tense situations as a family we've dealt with, my family knows to basically just shut her down and shelter in place, go to the car, whatever, and PN's going into action. I'm the one that's outside. My daughter, on 4th of July, she kept hearing things outside from fireworks. She thought someone was tapping on her window. Woke me up in the middle of the night. What did I do? I went immediately outside. I said, you stay here, you lock the door. I'm going to come back. I'm going to give you 3 steady knocks. Boom, boom, boom. When you hear that, you know it's all clear and you can let Daddy back in. Went outside. I checked the entire perimeter. Not afraid whatsoever. I was ready for anything, if you know what I mean. But, you know, that's the family. The family goes and they chill, and I take, because I'm the one that deals with the stuff. You know, that's the deal. And I'm sure you are too, and most of you listening. You're the ones that are the protector. So, how did this guy get up there? Law enforcement sniper, unclear, USSS, in newsreels was clearly overwhelmed as his face came off the rifle instead of doing his job. Now, I have seen a picture that said that he was told to stand down. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's untrue. And I'm not going to say either one. But I can tell you, if I had to flip a coin, I would say that he was told to stand down. Because if you look at his expression, he's confused. He's like, you know, he's got the WTF on his face. So, the Secret Service fumbled bad on all levels. I think the lady's name is Cheadle. It's a female now running the Secret Service. Doesn't matter what they got between their legs, whatever. And I think she should resign. I think she should say, you know what, we screwed up. I was tasked with a job, and I didn't do it. I failed. You know, I let a guy come within 400 feet of a presidential candidate and former president. I didn't listen to people that were screaming at the top of their lungs, there's someone up on the roof. And then when everything else is going on, if you look at it, I mean, people couldn't even holster their weapon. How many times does a freaking Secret Service agent have to holster their weapon on a daily basis? I can assure you it's more than you and I. So, failed attempt. So, yeah, we don't know. We don't know if the guy was told to stand down or not. We don't know. I can tell you one thing, though. This is an absolute failure by the Secret Service. So, clearly overwhelmed his face. They don't have a first shot policy. Maybe that's going to change now. 488-yard shot, which to them is like, you know, practice. Guy got off 5 rounds. There's a guy up there on the thing, right there. Okay, we've all seen him. I mean, clearly that's not a freaking camera. You know, that's the business end of a rifle. So, right there's your graphic. There's the area, and then if you look at where the guy was, you know, I mean, it should have never happened. So they failed, you know, clearly. Unserious and unworthy people in positions of authority got us into a near disaster. I would agree with that. And these people should be fired. How in the FUCK Alejandro Mayorkas is still in a job is absolutely beyond me. But if this doesn't take him down, I don't know what will. And obviously he's there to be the evil piece of crap that he is. He should be fired. Did you hear about the meeting? There's a meeting with Ray and Mayorkas and one of the other dumbasses sitting there talking about stuff. I mean, I bet they had champagne in the damn thing. I don't know that for sure, but I mean, look at all this. Look at all this. This is as close. Can you imagine what would the world look like had that thing been a half inch to the right? Had it gone through his eye? So, you know, I mean, if they can't even protect this guy, what the heck are they going to do for you and I, folks? And that's kind of the overarching theme of all this and why I'm talking to you. Now, first and foremost, as I've said here for multiple times, I don't see anybody getting into office right now and doing things that are going to help us. My wife asked that. She said, what do you think it would look like? How do we get back? And I said, look, honestly, about 10, 15 years ago, you had the guy from Oklahoma, I want to say Coburn, who had an idea of about 30 to 40 years of pain to get everything back together, to, you know, get everything within a reasonable debt-based thing, and they shot it down because it wouldn't get people reelected. The people that are running the show now in our country, they know, they read the writing on the wall. They know that we are in the end game now. It's not going to happen tonight. It's not going to happen next year. Maybe. Hopefully not. But in the not so distant future, everything is going straight downhill. No one in any kind of a leadership is going to fix it, folks. You know why? Because, well, one of the wonderful things about our Constitution is the spreading of our power. But the other problem is that, you know, you need someone like a Javier Milei or a Bukele to go in there and to really go nuts. You know, do you really see anything getting done with the activist judges in our judiciary? You know, sitting there worried that they're not going to get their Soros-backed money if they don't, you know, do what their godmaster says. So we're on our own. You know, I mean, that's kind of why I prep and why I've started a prepping channel years ago. And what I'm always going to keep coming back to is that, you know, we are on our own. I'm sorry, Orange Man bad is not going to be Orange Man good and save us. Now, he could get the ball rolling. They could get some really cool stuff going good. And we could really halt a lot of this. But the problem is that the people that, and just let's just play normie here. Let's just say that everything is on the up and up. You know, if they're dropping the ball in this way, and they're making it so we are this vulnerable, and, you know, it's all systems go to basically wrecking the SS America so they can build back better. And that's what the whole goal is, in my mind. I could be wrong. It's a dismantling. They want everything to just be trashed and gone, and come back and to put this new system so the rich dicks in the background can create it in their own little, you know, crony capitalist communist way. So you don't have any choice. There's no choice in corporates. You just get it's either Target or Walmart. You don't get your choice. It's Coke or Pepsi. It's, two different bread companies, whatever. Sunshine or Golden Harvest, whatever. That's all it is. They don't care about any of us. They'd allow this to happen, well, I doubt they're going to do anything for us. I really do hope that... See, look at that right there. Look at that thing right there. I mean, can you imagine if a trained person was up there? Imagine. Why didn't they have people up there? Was it blocked off? I don't know. I mean, look at this. This is ridiculous. So it says, when looking at the circumstances in favor of Thomas Matthew Crooks, the identified alleged suspect in the thing, it's hard to see how they failed, how the guy failed. It really is. And yes, I'm sure the AC, the Trump is AC people will come and say, yeah. I mean, okay. Honestly, this plays to your belief. I don't know how he failed. I mean, he really shouldn't have. He really shouldn't have. But he did. So, 140 yards away, clear line of sight. I mean, honestly, there's probably a multiplicity of people in this stream right now that would have. I think you're picking up what I'm putting down. You would not have gotten it done what you wanted to get done if you know. And I'm not saying I'm just saying that this person. It's hard to see how he failed. So I don't know, I do know this. I know the person that did fail, or the people that failed, were the Secret Service. Supposed to secure all obvious sniper purchase well before the arrival. I mean, the guy had the freaking flag in the background, so he had a good idea of the wind. So, I mean, this should have never happened. So, what happens now? Well, Trump is, let's go normal. Again, let's just not play that Trump isn't shining his horns in his private residence, getting him ready for the big reveal. And let's say he's just a normal dude like you and I, which I fully believe right now. Right now. That could change. Now, he's going to basically sail on to nomination, and obviously, as seen with the Trump's martyr moment, thank you, Axios, he is going to be able to get all kinds of political clout. He's going to get people behind him. He's getting mega donors behind him. The average donation is $70, meaning it's just normal old people. And barring the magic Democrats doing what the magic Democrats always magically do, and that's somehow win, he's probably going to go on to the presidency. And then at that point, who knows? Maybe we'll get more of those mostly peacefuls downtown Milwaukee and St. Louis and Detroit and Baltimore. Some more mostly peaceful. Maybe we'll get some more of the very non-violent lefties in there. Because remember, the most important thing to do is remember the person that's going to commit the violence is going to be the right-winger, right? The far right. It's crap. We're on our own, folks. You're going to need the preps. You're going to need everything you got. And if you're not really doing things right now to get yourself into a position where you can handle a short emergency and a long emergency, you're setting yourself up for failure, okay? There's a lot of problems going on in the world right now. And this isn't, this is just, imagine if this is just what it is right now. But, Earlier today, I'm sitting there talking about how South Korea is warning North Korea that if they use a nuclear weapon, that they're going to basically wipe them off the map. They're going to turn Pyongyang into a glass parking lot. Like, that's the other kind of rhetoric that's going on right now. Russia basically said, we know that you have weapons, missiles in Europe, and we can stop them. And at the same time, this is Peskov, the spokesperson. Not only will we wipe those missiles out of the sky, we'll also take the capitals of those decision-making centers off the map. Like, this is the kind of everyday crap that we read now. And it's because of the people in the background doing everything they can to dismantle everything for power. And nothing's going to stop it. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I don't see Orange Man Bad doing it. I see him getting the ball rolling on some good stuff, but he'll be a bump in the road. You know, and the other problem is, I'm going to end on this. The other problem is that the more this stuff gets stopped, the more outside the box and dangerous they start to think. Okay? That's the biggest problem. Think about what's going on with our new neighbors. Okay, what was Orange Man Bad speaking about when he had the benefit of looking to the right by a half inch? He's talking about the new neighbors. You know why the new neighbors are coming up here? Because they're thinking outside of the box. They don't care about anyone's daughters having terrible things happening to them into big city USA. They don't care. So that's just one idea. I mean, and from here it just gets freaking nuts. They're not gonna. It's not gonna be like any kind of sanity whatsoever. It's gonna get nuttier and nuttier and crazier and crazier and more dangerous and more dangerous and more dangerous and more dangerous. It is. It's not going to get any better. Our debt is out of control. We're on the verge of a global conflict, and we're having pot shots taken at a former prez who's potentially going to be the next one, depending. We'll see. So all bets are off, folks. I mean, you got to be doing whatever you can to protect your family at this point. You got to be socking stuff away. You have to be doing things that are going to protect you and your family. There are no political saviors. There's bumps in the road. There's moments of we're all right, but again, think back to where we were 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and where we are now. I couldn't imagine any of this in 2019, and here we are. And I don't see any of it abating. So, folks, hit that like button, comment, subscribe. I appreciate you. God bless. PrepperNow out.